I have a good and a bad news. The bad news is that you will have to learn to become completely irrelevant. And the good news is that you've always been irrelevant. You say, what is he actually talking about? And the fact is that the rise of AI will collapse something much deeper than anyone is actually seeing or talking about. And that's exactly the topic of this video. Because everyone is saying that, yeah, there's high chance for AI and there's debate around AI taking over all the jobs. That is not the topic of that video. I will not enter on that debate, and I will not try to say in what time frame and how, and is it even possible, is it happening, or any of that. I firmly believe that whatever we want to try to believe, it is happening. Sooner or later, it is happening. And I think it's more sooner than people expect. And what will happen? I have been around those topics a lot. And what we hear is that there will be a collapse of purpose. Why is that? Is because, when you are replaceable by a machine, like a artificial intelligence that can do 100 times quicker than you, 50 times better than you, 10 times more deep than you, the work you sacrifice years or decades to learn, to study, to improve, and then suddenly it comes out of nowhere, and then it takes your job and you lose not only your lifestyle, wages, and your stability, you also lose something much more precious. You lose a purpose and a very deep need that humans have, which is a purpose need, and the need of feeling relevant, especially in our modern time, where we took hustle culture to another level. We did learn that us as a man and woman have more value when we are efficient, where we are productive, when we are grinding, because we grind, we product, the more we become valuable. Productivity is now and have been the new flex, the new social hierarchy, demonstration. Look at me, look how productive, look how focused, look how good my self-improvement have been and how much things I can do. That's why now on our days, just sitting down in a garden or in a sofa and just relaxing, and you feel guilty. You feel guilty because you have this pressure of you need to produce, you need to be more performant, there is so much to do, and it's never finished. And my hypothesis that I want to talk about on this video is that this is going to collapse, and no one really understands what it's going to change. And I think it's going to be quite chaotic and violent for a lot of people, especially for the people who have put their identity on hustle culture, people who have choose to dedicate their being to producing. Why? Because when an AI can produce much better, more efficiently, then suddenly the whole purpose, the whole value of who you are disappear. Because why would you grind? Why would you work so hard and try to be productive and spend 12 hours deep working when this intelligence, it's ridiculous compared to an AI? Then suddenly that's gonna collapse as a purpose in life. And I think that it's not a catastrophe. I think it's more of an awakening for human awareness. Because being relevant and being valuable through performance and productivity have always been an illusion. It is a complete illusion. Because when you go to the scale of the planet, the solar system, and the stars, whatever you have sent one email or 50 email, whatever you've built business or didn't, whatever you have a big house or small one, is in the time frame and in the space frame completely, totally irrelevant. It just doesn't matter. It will disappear like this. And you've done it, you haven't done it, you will disappear. And very soon, no one will remember myself and yourself. It's just going to be irrelevant. So when everyone going to have to face this feeling of, what's my purpose? Well, now that I don't have this productivity and performance anymore, how can I be relevant? And the answer is don't. And I think if you understand this idea sooner, you're going to be so more prepared for this chaos to come, which is going to be like material, but psychological. The psychological matter going to be to be able to be strong and courageous enough to face the emptiness and the absurdity of our existence, to be able, as Camus was talking about, to be, being like, I know that I am irrelevant and I find freedom and happiness inside this awakening. Because when I don't have to produce, I don't have to be performative, I don't have to grind, I don't have to sacrifice, I don't have to try to climb the social hierarchy by trying to flex with, look how self-disciplined I am, when you don't need to do that anymore, because it just become completely ridiculous and absurd, which I think it's already the case, but no one really see it this way. When you stop doing that, what happened? Then you're free. You're free to do what? To do what the fuck ever you want to do. The question is not, what do I need to do? What do I have to do? Those are slave questions. And when I say slave, I refer to Nietzsche philosophy. The slave mentality is, I justify my being by doing. But your being doesn't need to do. Your being is enough. Your being is everything that matters, because pretty much maybe the purpose we exist is to exist and to go through life by experiencing things, sensitivity, like seeing, experimenting life. That's maybe the only thing that matters. So being irrelevant is such a relief, because you can just be free and do whatever you want. For example, I take my life when I had this realization through my own story of grinding and self-discipline, because I was the first one on that belief system, on that dogma. And when I stopped believing, when I quit that cult, it becomes so empty. And I had to go through hard times. And even deeper and harder when I lost my sister and I had to face that emptiness and absurdity of death. And those events showed me that the only thing that really matters is not what I'm producing or doing or where I'm going. What really matters is for me to be able to look after my plants, look after my grass, look after things that doesn't have utility, that doesn't have purpose, things that are useless. So now that I'm free of this injunction of producing and be performative, I can just dedicate my time, energy to create. Because I am now aware that I am the creation, but also the creator. And I'm free to create whatever I want. And this sense of freedom, the sense of I am irrelevant, and that make me free, is so powerful. I wish that with my video, this YouTube channel will help people to awaken to that reality. Because everyone, out there is talking about being free. Everyone is saying, I want to be free. I want to be free of work. I want to be free of time. I want to be free. Thinking that freedom is outside. And in a sense, it is, because I got free of all of this, and I'm very grateful for it. And it did help me a lot to go through this journey. But true freedom is not about outside. It's not about anything outside. True freedom is in the inside. And people now have a lot of freedom. If you compare to the last centuries, our generation, our modern time, we have more freedom than anywhere else on the history. With technology, with rights, with everything, we have so much freedom, but we struggle but everyone is screaming about, I want freedom, I want freedom, I want freedom, because no one realized that we have adopted the slave mentality. We did go into this rabbit hole of hustle culture, self-improvement, self-development, all those things that made us slave of producing, performing. And I'm glad that the rise, emergency of AI and those tools will relieve us from this illusion and bring us back to our true nature, which is freedom. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode.